Here's something nobody tells you. The moment you stop trying so hard, the moment you drop your shoulders, exhale, and finally say, okay, I trust this, that's when everything you've been chasing starts walking toward you. Not away from you, toward you. I know how that sounds. I do. Because we've been taught the opposite our whole lives, right? Push harder, try more. If it's not working, it's because you're not doing enough. And so we grip. We plan every little detail. We refresh our phones. We rehearse conversations in our heads. We check and recheck and overthink until we're absolutely exhausted. And still nothing feels like it's moving. But here's what Buddhism has understood for thousands of years, and what modern life keeps forgetting. Resistance isn't strength. It's a wall you built against your own blessings. Today, we're going to talk about what really happens when you let go. Not give up, let go, and why the universe, in its quiet and patient wisdom, has been waiting for you to do exactly that. Picture a river. When a river meets a boulder, it doesn't argue with it. It doesn't crash against it in frustration. It simply moves around it, gracefully, effortlessly, without losing any of its momentum. The river still gets to the ocean, every single time. Now picture you. When life places an obstacle in front of you, what do? Most of us push directly into it. We force, we stress. We stay up at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling, running through every possible scenario, trying to mentally move the rock with sheer willpower. And you know what that creates? Exhaustion, resentment, and a very sore forehead. In Buddhism, this is called dukkha, the suffering that comes not from life itself, but from our resistance to how life is unfolding. The suffering isn't the rock. The suffering is the fighting. Here's the shift that changes everything. Resistance is not the opposite of giving up. It's actually the opposite of flow. When you release resistance, when you stop fighting the current and start trusting it, you don't become weak. You become like the river, unstoppable, patient, completely certain it's going to arrive where it's meant to go. The universe is not ignoring you. It's not withholding from you. It's simply waiting for you to stop pushing against the very door it's trying to open for you. And I want to stop here for a second, because I think we need to talk about something that nobody says out loud. Control isn't about the situation. Control is about fear, what you're really controlling, and what it's costing you. When we try to control outcomes, what we're really saying is, I don't trust that things will be okay without me managing every piece of this. That's not strategy. That's anxiety wearing a productivity costume. And here's what's so interesting, like the things we try hardest to control are always the things we're most afraid to lose. A relationship, a job, someone's opinion of us, a dream we've held so long it feels like our identity. We grip those things like our life depends on it. And in doing so, we squeeze the life right out of them. Buddhism teaches something beautifully simple here. Attachment is the root of suffering, not love, not desire. Attachment. The white-knuckled clinging to how something has to look, when it has to happen, and who has to be involved. Think about the last time you forced a conversation that wasn't ready to happen, or rushed a decision because waiting felt unbearable, or tried to make someone feel a certain way about you. How did that go? Exactly. Control creates the very outcome we're trying to avoid. The tighter we hold, the more slips through our fingers. But the moment you open your hand, genuinely, not as a strategy to get what you want faster, but as a real act of trust, something extraordinary shifts. Your energy changes. The way people experience you changes. And suddenly, opportunities you couldn't have planned for begin to appear. Not because the universe rewarded you for being patient, but because you finally got out of the way of your own life. Here's a question I want you to sit with. What if the thing you're trying to control so desperately is actually already handled? What if the universe is already working on it and your grip is the only thing slowing it down? Let's clear something up right now, because this is the part where people get confused. Letting go is not giving up. Surrender is not defeat. Giving up says, it's not going to happen. I quit. Surrender says, I've done what I can do. I trust what comes next. That's a completely different energy. One contracts, the other expands. Think of it like this. Imagine you're holding a beautiful piece of paper, and you're gripping it so tightly that it crumples. The paper hasn't changed. Your grip changed the experience of it. Surrender means loosening your grip while still caring about the paper. You still show up. You still do the work. You still move with intention, but you stop trying to dictate every single outcome of every single effort. You take the action, and then you trust the direction. In the Zen tradition, there is a concept called Wu Wei, effortless action, doing without forcing. It doesn't mean sitting on the couch and waiting for things to fall from the sky. It means acting in alignment with the natural flow of things rather than against it. The bamboo understands Wu Wei. In a storm, it bends almost to the ground, fully, completely, with zero resistance. And when the storm passes, it rises right back up, unbothered, unbroken. That's what surrender looks like, not collapse. Flexibility, grace under pressure, the ability to bend without breaking because you're not trying to stay rigid in the first place. The universe responds to that quality every time. Can I tell you the craziest part of all of this? The things that ended up being the best things in your life, were most of them planned, or did they arrive in the spaces where you had let go? Sit with that. There's a space that most people never learn to live in. It sits right between doing and receiving. It's not passive, it's not aggressive, it's just present. When you're in that space, you're not obsessing about the outcome. You're not white-knuckling the timeline. You're showing up, doing your part, and then releasing it the way you'd release a kite into the wind. You still hold the string, but you don't try to carry the kite yourself. Buddhism calls this equanimity, a steadiness of mind that doesn't spike with excitement or crash with disappointment. And it might sound boring on paper, but in real life, it feels like freedom. Because when you're not attached to the outcome, something magical happens. You become present. Actually present in a way that anxious planning never allows. And presence changes everything. You notice the conversation that leads to the right connection. You have the idea that didn't come when you were forcing. You feel the intuition that points you exactly where you need to go. The kind of quiet inner knowing that only shows up when you're not drowning it out with worry. The universe communicates in subtlety, in coincidences that don't feel like coincidences, in the book that falls off the shelf, in the stranger who says exactly what you needed to hear, but it can only reach you when you're actually there to receive it. Resistance keeps you locked in your head, replaying and rehearsing and predicting. Surrender brings you back to this moment, the only moment where anything actually happens. And in this moment, right now, everything you need is accessible. The peace, the clarity, the knowing that things are working out even when you can't see how yet. I want to describe what this feels like when it actually happens, because I think it's different from what most people expect. It doesn't feel like a dramatic breakthrough. It doesn't come with fireworks, it feels like a quiet exhale. A sudden looseness in your chest, the moment you stop trying to figure it all out, and you just decide to trust the process. And then things begin to shift. Not because you stopped caring, you still care deeply, but because you stopped strangling the thing you cared about. The right people start showing up, the right timing starts aligning. Situations that seemed stuck begin to move, not because you forced them, but because your energy changed, and the universe responded to that change. This is not wishful thinking. It's the simple truth that how you move through the world, with tension or with trust, shapes what comes back to you. When you let go, you signal to the universe, I believe in this, I believe in the timing, I believe in myself, and that belief becomes a frequency, and the universe tunes in. So here's where I want to leave you today. Whatever you've been gripping, let yourself hold it a little looser right now. Not because it doesn't matter, but because it matters so much that you want to give it room to breathe. Trust that the universe is not confused. It hasn't forgotten you. It's not running late. It's simply waiting for the version of you who doesn't need to control the outcome, the version who can breathe and trust and keep moving forward with open hands. That version of you is not far away. They're just one exhale from where you are right now. If this message reached you today, take it as a sign. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And until next time, stay soft, stay open, and remember, you don't have to figure it all out. The universe already has. Take care, and may peace walk with you wherever you go. If this experience brought you a step closer to yourself, consider subscribing to continue the exploration.